So in this lesson I am going to teach you how to make eggless chocolate butter cake. So what I have here is the condensed milk based recipe. So the butter and the condensed milk, we are just going to beat them together, and there are quite a bit of the dry ingredients. I have the all purpose flour, we are adding coffee, and then that's some icing sugar as well, and then cocoa powder, and then we have baking powder, baking soda and salt. All of them we are going to sift them together, and for the liquid we have the curd and water. And so finally we are going to alternate between the dry, which is all the flour that's been mixed together. Like into the flour we are going to sift all the dry ingredients together, and that we are just going to alternate between the curd and the water that we have for the liquid ingredients to get beaten up at the end. Okay, so now I have another bowl. Into this I am going to sift the dry. So all purpose flour has gone in. I'm just going to add coffee, icing sugar, cocoa powder, baking powder, baking soda, and then the salt. So I'm just going to set the dry aside for now, and into the bowl of my beater I'm just going to add the butter, and if the butter is soft you can add the condensed milk also together with it. If the butter is not too soft, but maybe if it is a bit firm, then you could beat the butter, make it light, and then add the condensed milk. So I just have the KitchenAid here. I'm going to fit the bowl and then beat this for about 3 to 4 minutes on high speed until we have the condensed milk nicely incorporated with the butter. Now it's quite flowy. I'm just going to show from within here how the consistency looks. That's the butter and the condensed milk. It's all runny, flowy, but combined together. Okay, so at this stage and be adding the vanilla extract. And then beat just until the vanilla is incorporated. So into this I have the dry ingredients. I'm going to add them in 3 parts. So now I'm just going to beat just until the flour gets incorporated. You can see the mixture looks like this at the stage. And now into this I'm going to add all of the curd together. Yeah, and beat until the curd gets also incorporated. And to this, the second part of the flour. And then beat until the flour is all incorporated well. And now while the beater is still going on, I'm going to pour the water slowly. So at this stage it's going to look curdled. So that doesn't matter. It's not that there's something wrong at this stage. So though it is going to look like this. Okay, we just continue. Add the last part of the flour as well. Now I am just going to beat once. Finally, when we have all the flour incorporated, the curdle texture will just go a little bit, but it is okay if it doesn't go away fully as well. So let's check how it is going to be after we have incorporated the last part of the flour mixture. So now the batter is all done. So let's check the batter's consistency. See, it is not really smooth, but it is not really very curdled as well. It depends on how much you have beaten after the addition of the flour. If you've beaten it like slowly and not much, then it is going to look curdled, but that doesn't matter. Just go on and then beat on high speed for some more time, and even after which, if it looks curdled, doesn't matter. So you can just divide it between your pans and then go ahead with baking, because your final cake is not going to look affected because of the curdle texture that you have here right now. Okay, so now I'm dividing the batter between two 6-inch pans that are prepared well, which is lining the bottom of the pan with the butter paper, and then to butter and then flour the paper as well. I'm just going to level the top. and I'm just going to tap the pans down, okay, to get rid of any bigger air bubbles in between. And now for the eggless cakes, the oven has to be preheating at 180 degrees Celsius until the time the pans with the batter is ready to go inside the oven. Now I'm just going to put both of them to bake at 180 degrees Celsius between anywhere 30 to 40 minutes. And we know when we have to take it out of the oven, if it is wobbly, do not poke the toothpick, and once you know the top is firm, then a toothpick inserted into the center should come out clean. If not, you will keep baking for 5 more minutes at the same temperature. And then now I will put it into the oven and then get back to show you once the cake has been baked. So we have the chocolate butter cake baked and come out beautifully. So I'm just going to check for doneness, and then you can see a bit of dry crumbs is quite fine. Any wet batter, you know you have to bake it for longer. I'm just going to have it checked. It looks beautiful. So I'm just going to unmold the cake here. So we have baked it in 2 pans at this time. So we'll have a flat sponge, and then this one sponge we are just going to toast it into 2. Now the same batter, if we are going to bake it in 1 pan, obviously the height is going to be more, the baking time will be more, but then with the height of the sponge that we have, we will be able to toast them into more layers and then use. But then baking a taller cake and for a longer period of time will dry out the sponge. Baking shorter cakes will keep the moistness of the sponge intact. Okay, so it is like a extremely soft cake. Obviously we know that it needs to be cling wrapped and it needs to go into the freezer. So cling wrap each of them in separate layers like it is shown in the introductory lessons, and then once they are firm, in the freezer for a minimum of 8 hours or overnight, and then I'll get back to show you how we are going to use the sponge.